are? You bet, sweet potatoes. And they are, although they're ornamental, and they're just all kinds of varieties now, and they're usually grown as annuals. Blackie, look at that nice contrast of that black folk. You beat me, I was about to say something. She asked me whether you get food from the plant or it's ornamental. These are ornamental varieties, however, they are edible. You can't eat them. You can't eat the sweet potatoes. I don't know if they're quite as tasty as the ones that are really cultivated to eat, but they are perfectly edible. And whether you grow a nice bright lime green next to a black for that kind, look at the contrast on that. I mean, that really pops in your garden. It's painting, again, colors. Okay. You can also paint with your flowers. How many of you have seen this plant before? Gotcha. Good. All right. This is the turquoise puya. It's way more outrageous than this picture. It really has turquoise metallic flowers on it, with that little dot of yellow and orange on the inside, and it even has those pink spikes, flower spikes that come out on the side. It's an absolutely outrageous plant. You want your neighbors to go, what's that? This is a good plant to get. It is drought tolerant. It is a bromeliad, much like the ones you see on the floor here with all these fancy flowers that really do well in the shade and, or coddled in the house. But this guy, you can put in your garden. He likes it dry. He's a drought tolerant plant and can take in full sun even inland. It'll take temperatures of over 100. It'll handle slight frosts. It's a cool plant. You may have to look pretty hard for them. They're not easily found. But I just thought I'd slip something in here that maybe you weren't familiar with. It's a really interesting plant. Again, the shapes, the colors, the textures. It's got a really nice grass-like foliage that looks quite beautiful in your garden. And then in the spring, it sends up almost these asparagus-like shoots that turn into this really, really crazy colored plant. Makes a nice focal point, but because it really grabs your attention. And then we get into the textures.
Where does it originate, that the turquoise? Yeah, where does it originate from?
It's from South America. It's from the dry areas of South America instead of the rainforest where most of your bromeliads that you're more familiar with come from. So, I've got one of my little cartoons telling me we're supposed to be talking about textures here. Textures are wonderful. Not only do you have all the colors to work with and the shapes to work with, you've got, look, just in the cactus and succulent, look at the difference. This is a mammillaria, this one's an opuntia. There's another, look at the cactus spines on this one. It's just outrageous. Can't think of the name. It starts with an S. Someday I'll remember after you all go home. And these we used to call Boston baked beans. They're succulents. All succulents are adapted stems, roots, parts of the plant that have been adapted to hold water. Only real cactus have these orioles in here, and they are that make the difference between a cactus and a succulent. This little guy doesn't have it. These are cactus. They do. But look at all the difference in textures you can get